The death of the 1 gigawatt dream. Microsoft just pulled the plug on the largest artificial intelligence project in African history. The 1 gigawatt data center in Kenya was supposed to be the blueprint for scaling global AI using geothermal energy, but the reality of the local power grid just crushed that ambition. This sudden retreat marks the end of the Silicon Valley fantasy that cloud computing can expand infinitely, regardless of local infrastructure. And the energy physics behind this collapse are even more brutal. The infrastructure wall. President William Ruto recently admitted that powering this single facility at full scale would require switching off half of Kenya. While the Rift Valley offers incredible geothermal potential, a single AI campus consuming 1/3 of a nation's total electricity is an engineering impossibility in 2026. This infrastructure wall is the first sign that the physical limits of the planet are finally catching up to the digital scale of the cloud. But the real friction was actually hidden in the contract terms. And the geopolitical consequences are even more expensive. The sovereign offtake crisis. This failure is as much about sovereignty as it is about voltage. Microsoft and its partner G42 demanded guaranteed annual payments for computing capacity that the Kenyan government simply could not afford to underwrite. When Nairobi refused to sign a blank check for cloud services they might not use, the deal evaporated. This breakdown proves that developing nations are no longer willing to be the testing grounds for high-risk AI infrastructure. This friction is now driving a massive strategic retreat, the nuclear fortress strategy. Instead of betting on foreign grids, Microsoft is now pouring billions into domestic nuclear power, from the restart of the 3 Mile Island reactor to new partnerships with small modular reactor startups like Allo Atomics. The strategy has shifted from global expansion to fortress building. It is easier to fix a 40-year-old reactor in Pennsylvania than it is to build a modern electrical grid from scratch in a developing economy. Big tech is trading the optics of global development for the reliability of sovereign baseload power. This signals a total restructuring of how we think about the cloud, the signal under the noise. The death of the Kenya project proves that the era of borderless cloud computing is over because AI has transformed electricity into a national security asset. By abandoning the 1 gigawatt geothermal plan in favor of domestic nuclear restarts, Microsoft is admitting that infrastructure sovereignty matters more than global footprint. For investors and strategists, this means the AI winners will not be the companies with the best algorithms, but those with the most secure physical control over their power supply. We are moving away from the efficiency of the global grid and toward the resilience of the national fortress. The next phase of AI scaling will be defined by deep vertical integration, where big tech companies effectively become their own private utility providers. Watch for Microsoft to announce a direct ownership stake in a domestic uranium enrichment facility by the end of 2026. Subscribe for more.